When we had made a transition to our own system, I think I did see kind of like a fall, or a fallout, or we saw less people. I guess for me, it was when it all comes down to it, it's more like, am I doing enough? Is the clinic doing enough to keep you going? And quite frustrating though, because it's like, you want to build a business and, serve your community, do what you do and do what you love, right? But if you're not making money, it's like you can't do anything else besides that. You want to go out with friends, or it's your nephew's birthday or something like that, but it's like you're so tight on your budget, you can't really do much, and of course it really creates a strain on you or me financially. It's like, well, I mean, I don't want to go out because I don't want to put money into something. I'd rather keep that. I'd rather hold on to that a little bit and put that into the business. But yeah, I think that piece was kind of the hardest, a hard part. The biggest thing is just, can I afford you guys? It's hard to say yes when you only have so much. It's tough. Again, I think when it all comes down to it, it's really just, am I making enough to even get you guys' help?
What kind of made you decide to like pull the trigger and say yes then?
I think I got an email from you guys, and
Okay.
And I don't know, because I've gotten emails from a lot of people, but when I just saw your email, I don't know, that day I just decided to just kind of do a little quick Google search. It's when I spoke to you. I think just the how genuine you were with our conversation, how open you were, and also again just the referral.
So just to like overview all the metrics, we have about 5,500, 5,600 almost in total ad spend, 30 new patients. Of those 30, 16 have converted already, 7 are still in the process, so we're 16 for 23 right now. And then the total signed on to care is $20,266.
We're sitting close to more like 60 patients, 70 patients.
Dang.
Yeah. Average.
Dang, so that's like 50 to 75% increase right there.
And so now that, we've been working together for a few months now, we've been able to, expand that. I'd say exponentially, Hey everyone, my name is Larrnix Moua, and I am a chiropractor here in Minnesota, the city of Shakopee. And I've been practicing for coming up about 8 years now. And I love what I do. Just looking to help the community as much as I can.
Amazing. Could you give like a description? What was your experience like building your practice? I know for you, it was a very like interesting situation with the buyout and how everything was. Could you like give a few sentences on what that was like before we even met and how your experience was?
It was definitely a step, right? A pretty big step. I've been an associate for, the majority of, since graduating, right? Majority of the time there. And so, when you're making a big purchase like this too, it's like, man, like, it was scary because again, you're making another investment into, yourself. You're getting more into debt, right? And so you want to make sure that you're making the right decision. You're picking the right place. You have the right, patient base, and it'll vary from place to place, but I guess for me it was when it all comes down to it, it's more like, am I doing enough? Is the clinic doing enough to keep you going and keep everything, keep all the lights on essentially? So
I know for you it was even like a weird situation because when you came in, you weren't like, you couldn't even receive the pay yet for like the way that everything was structured. So you're like, hey, I have to wait until the sale actually goes through in several months before I can even see the dollars that I'm collecting. Right. How was that? Like, what were some of the challenges that came about with the lack of incoming revenue and that kind of deal?
I'm blessed in that I have family here too. And I think that's one of my biggest pillars that I can rely on is being able to be with family. And I think that's really helped me kind of get through this time, even now too. And so that's been super helpful. Other than that, it was quite frustrating though, because it's like, you want to build a business and, serve your community, do what you do and do what you love, right? But if you're not making money, it's like you can't do anything else besides that. I've told this story a few times before too, but it's like, you want to go out with friends, or it's your nephew's birthday or something like that, but it's like you're so tight on your budget, you can't really do much, and of course it really creates a strain on you or me financially. And so I think that was pretty hard. So
100%. What was like before we started working together, what were like some of those hardest moments that you can point to as being like, man, like that was actually like, I felt like things were in the dumps right there before everything has been shifted.
Mm-hmm. I think I noticed that when we had made a transition to our own system, I think I did see kind of like a fallout, or we saw less people, and it could be the timing of everything too, but I think not relying on the previous owner to do some of the marketing for you, because they already have. He's an existing chiro, and having to be on his system for a little bit did help kind of do that marketing piece. But now when you're on your own, it's like, you can only get out so much, talk to people,
right.
And of course that only gets you so much too. It's not like you're getting a referral every day. But yeah, I think that piece was kind of the hardest, a hard part to everything here. That how can I get out there and what can I do to bring in more patients?
Yeah, all right. Earlier, for sure, with all the marketing. And earlier, it sounded like you were saying that it impacted some like the relationships you had even with other people around you. Can you like share a little bit more on that?
I'd say, I think with just not being able to socialize as much as I would like, it's like being a bad friend, right? It's like, hey, you want to go out and do stuff? It's like, well, I mean, I don't want to go out because I don't want to put money into something. I'd rather, honestly, to say like, I'd rather keep that. I mean, I'd rather hold on to that a little bit and put that into, the business, gas, getting to work, things like that.
Just getting there.
And it's like, I mean, I drive, 40 minutes, 45 minutes almost a day. And so it can be a lot,
Yeah.
And, when you're thinking on that level, it just kind of takes everything out of you, And so it's like, well, I mean, you want to do well in your business, but you're just budgeting as much as you can, but you're also cutting a lot of people out of your life, family and friends.
And you were like paying to work basically because you couldn't collect a lot of the payments, right? So that's definitely a challenge. How can you share a little bit like how you found us and what were some of your initial thoughts as we met and spoke the first time?
I think I got an email. I think I got an email from you guys.
Okay.
And I don't know, because I mean, I've gotten emails from a lot of people, but when I just saw your email, I don't know. That day I just decided to just kind of do a little quick Google search. You guys popped up, and then I saw a friend of mine, an old colleague, schoolmate, and I was like, oh, so I decided to reach out to him and just kind of get a little bit of his input, and he only spoke great things about you guys, and so I think for me that was kind of the I was like, okay, well, if he says you guys are great, I'm gonna give it a shot and see where it goes. So
what were some of like the doubts and fears you had too? Like, was there anything specific that you were like, man, I was nervous because of this, or can you walk me through any doubts and fears you had?
I think the biggest thing is just, can I afford you guys? When you're working on such of a tight budget, it's hard to say yes when you only have so much, and
totally,
I understand. I mean, marketing is, you got to spend money to get out there, to get your name and get your face out there. And, I just don't want to be, I guess getting my, not getting anything from it. You know what I mean? We hear all these stories all the time about getting, people getting burned from their marketing or agencies and things like that. But it's like, it's tough. Again, I think when it all comes down to it, it's really just, am I making enough to even get you guys' help? Even though I want to, but it was tough. So
what kind of made you decide to like pull the trigger and say yes then with that?
I think it's when I spoke to you. I think just the how genuine you were with our conversation, how open you were, and also again just the referral from my colleague there, and so I think that really helped kind of get it over to the next step. Yeah,
like, hey, let's check this thing out. Let's give it a shot. Right. Yeah, totally. Could you give me like a quick description of where are you at now as far as the practice goes with everything? Like how are the metrics looking? How's the practice been growing over the last few months since we started working together?
I've seen great growth. I mean, we've been seeing a lot more people. I mean, before, I think when we first met, I was probably seeing 30, 40 people, maybe 50 people a week, depending on the week. But but that was it, and I knew that I couldn't see more than that. But of course, again, it's just being a new clinic here.
Yeah.
People just don't know that I'm here, and I think that's one of the things that I was lacking. I knew that with your guys' help, it doesn't get me to that next level. And so now that, we've been working together for a few months now, we've been able to, expand that, I'd say exponentially, So people are I'm getting messages, people are calling in, checking us out. 30 new patients. That's what we're averaging or so. We have, conversions have been pretty good too. I think I was sitting around 70, 80%, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
16 out of
30 patients.
With 7 in the process still.
Yes. And so things are doing well.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too I kind of want to lean into. It's just kind of how well you guys kind of keep us accountable. Or keep me accountable, right? And that's been helpful just along this process. I think as a sole practitioner, sometimes you kind of get lost in kind of your own thinking. And sometimes you just need an outsider perspective to be like, get your mind back, get your mind straight.
That's real. Yeah.
And it's helpful and it's relieving too. So
so just to like overview all the metrics, we have about 5,500, 5,600 almost in total ad spend, 30 new patients. Of those 30, 16 have converted already, 7 are still in the process, so we're 16 for 23 right now. And then the total signed on to care is $20,266 right now. And so that's kind of our current point without the 7 coming through. Obviously, those numbers will bump up a little bit, but really amazing job crushing it on the conversion side. So huge props to you for diving in so intentionally there and everything in between. How does practice feel now? Like, can you share a little bit more about like the feeling of what is the day-to-day like now that things are moving forward and you do have that progression in practice?
I don't have so much of that scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
So much anymore, Yeah. Of course, we're still growing, but I think it's before I was just like, like I don't want to make the wrong move. I don't want to, I was keeping everything just so close to me that I didn't want to expand out too much because it was, I didn't want to reach for the wrong things, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
But now that, we're consistent enough, we're seeing enough patients, I'm improving my skills, with what I do, clinicianally and in just speaking with people too. And so it's been helpful, so.
Yeah. Let's go. How is that led into like the vibe? So you said that before you were seeing probably like 40 patients, 40 visits per week. Where are things sitting at now?
We're sitting close to more like 60 patients, 70 patients.
Dang.
Yeah. Average.
Dang. So it's like 50 to 75% increase right there. That's
so
amazing.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great. It's a great thing.
Yeah. Amazing. What is like practice? So now that your revenue's obviously increased over the months, you're now collecting your own revenue since the buyout. What are you able to do now, like in your personal life that you weren't able to before? Like, what are you now able to go back out and experience?
I've been able to do a little bit more networking, and that's kind of something that I enjoy doing. Just because again, it's just getting myself out there. And when you're in a kind of a newer city, and people don't really know who you are, I think it's for me it's enjoyable. I wouldn't say I'm the most extroverted person, but I do enjoy kind of getting out of the clinic and meeting people and letting them know who I am, what I do, and what I offer. And so that's been helpful. Personal wise, I think just being able to spend more time with, again, family, and so that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. So you've been able to go out and actually get back to doing those things. Meeting with friends, family, all that kind of stuff. Let's go. How's that felt?
Yeah, it makes you feel like a person again, honestly. And I think that's it. When I first kind of started everything, it was, again, it was like hitting the ground and just like every day's a grind. We just keep going, and I guess it never stops too. As a business owner, but I think when you're getting results and you're doing, people see that. I think, it just makes you feel more comfortable in being able to be yourself and then doing what you love outside of just the work. So
that's so good. Again. That's so good. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share with someone who's like watching this right now and is like, I don't know if I take the next step or what should I do? what would you share with them about your experience and results and all that kind of stuff?
I would say working with you guys have been, just like a mindset changer. Like you guys have been able to kind of help me kind of, set my mind back into the right space, right?
Yeah.
Being the doctor, being the business person, and understanding statistics, understanding conversations with people, not to take things too seriously. Once we have those one-off patients where, just a little bit, different. If you're looking for somebody who's, really intentional and really looking for your guys' growth, I think you guys are great for that.
Yeah.
Not only that, but as a solo doctor who has no staff or anything, you guys have been super helpful in helping, get those patients in too, And I think the way you guys, your model is, it takes a lot off my plate, and
just not having
it's
to do
quality
anything.
too.
Yeah.
Just looking at the details that you guys write from those call-ins, and then just being able to have a quick idea before meeting a patient. And so, with my time, it's so limited, I feel already, but having to do the calls and everything, and get that patient scheduled, that does take time, especially when you have patients kind of waiting for you in the clinic. So
double your practice in a few months and start taking a bunch of calls is gonna fill up the schedule real quick. For sure. Thank you for sharing.
No, thank you guys too as well. Just being able to just get me over these humps, like you could say, right? And then looking forward to working with you guys in the future. And
let's go.
Keeping on growing.
So if you're watching and you're like, hey, do I take that next step? Definitely just book a call. Let's see if we're a good fit. If we are, amazing. We can take the steps to get you on your way to whatever the goals are. If not, no worries. We'll find another time or figure something out there.